Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who realized they were being stalked. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I went to go visit my dad out of state because I just really needed to get away from my extremely toxic mum and her family for a while. Towards the end of my vacation, I was like, I'm a legal adult. There's nothing stopping me from just staying here. And I decided it was better for my mental health and overall well-being to just stay near my dad. My mum flipped. I told her I just really want some space. When I'm ready to talk to you, I'll call you. But they have no sense of boundaries, so she and my half-sister constantly called my dad's house trying to get me to come back to live with them. Wait, why? My sister would call, hang up when I wouldn't answer, and then call again right away, so there will be 30 calls on our caller ID in the span of 30 minutes. When I wouldn't pick up the phone, my sister switched to bombarding my MySpace inbox with one insane message after another at 3 a.m. Why do they want to keep her with them so bad? What is this? I started noticing weird things around town. Cars I didn't recognize would slow down by me when I was out walking. People that I had just met would suddenly know things about me and ask about my mum like they were trying to get information. My mum called me out of the blue one day to ask about my hair. When I lived with her, she always made me keep it long as a means of control. Whoa. My hair is very thick, heavy, and on the dry side, so it was always a nightmare to keep it down past my waist like she wanted. After I decided I was staying with my dad, one of the first things I did was chop my hair off super short. Yes, you go, girl. It felt great getting rid of it all, and I found out after all this time my hair was actually curly. I never knew because all that hair weighed the curls down. So when my mum called and gave me this really bad, how long is your hair now? I just told her I cut it because it's my hair. Why? You have people out here spying on me? She sputtered. What? No. I just asked because I'm your mum and I could just feel that you cut your hair because mums always know stuff like that about their children. Yeah, sure, whatever. Oh my gosh, this is scary. How are you so controlling over your own child when they're like over 18? Let them live their life, please. After a year, my dad and I moved to a different house and never gave my mum or her family the new address. I never filled out a change of address form, but when my maternal grandmother sent me this really weird card in the mail, she addressed it to the old house. The post office wrote my new address on it and sent it back to her. And she resent it to my new place. After that, random cars will start showing up in our driveway and just sit there. Oh my gosh, what is this? Our driveway wasn't lit. It was on the main road with a lot of traffic, and if you didn't know the driveway was there, you'd miss it. My friends would miss it even when they knew it was coming up, or they start parking on the side street because my driveway was such a pain in the butt. This wasn't the type of place where you put in to turn around. Yet here were these cars in our drive. My stepmom caught one, and as soon as she opened the door to ask, "Can I help you?" the car booked it out and went off down the street. They got people to spy on their own kid? Like, who is this kid, honestly? This is just making me wonder, like, how important is this girl, you know? She has people spying on her daughter. Oh my gosh. I had a job at a fast food restaurant to pay for college, and things were good until one day someone comes in and says in this sing-song voice, "Oh hi, so good to see you." I look and there's this woman standing on the other side of the counter, and it took me forever to recognize her as my mum's sister-in-law. I didn't talk to her, but apparently she called my maternal grandmother and my mum right away to let them know she found me and where I was working. Then mum packs up her entire family, her parents, her half-siblings, my insane sister, her husband, their kids, everybody, and drove halfway across the country to show up at my job unannounced too. What's with their mum's side of the family? Like, what's going on? Why? Why is this happening? Why? I'm so confused. I'm actually so confused. Like, what's with this? What is involved with this? You know, I just want to know what's going on. Why do they have to go through all that effort just to keep her in their side of the family? I don't know what, but they were filming me with a video camera, and with a whole crowd of them, I have a feeling my mum was attempting to kidnap me because she kept trying to get me to come out from behind the counter while they were all crowded around. I refused and wouldn't answer with anything but I'm at work and you need to leave. There's really no ending to this because even 13 years later, I'm still dealing with their crap. It's not as frequent as it used to be, but every once in a while, they can't help but try to send me messages through whatever means they can try to contact me. Messages to just be annoying. Thankfully, I have a really great assistant that runs my work Facebook page, so not only does she catch all the crazy so I don't have to see it, she gets a taste of the insanity firsthand, so there's some validation there. This was interesting to read, but at the same time, I can't understand why they wanted to control her so bad. Like, why did they need to keep her? I mean, like, why did they need to keep her close to them, is what I'm wondering. What's up with that? What's going on? Am I missing something here? Like, what? Like, is it just... What? I don't even know, honestly. Is this some kind of petty thing where she didn't want her daughter to be staying with her ex-husband, you know? This is crazy to read, honestly. I feel so bad for this person. I'm so sorry you have to experience this. When I got a text from a number I didn't recognize telling me to look outside. I lived in a first floor apartment and there were flowers and chocolates on my balcony. He worked for IT and was in a position that he had access to the employee records, so he got my cell number and address out of it. What was even crazier was I told my upstairs neighbor to keep an eye out for him, and she said he'd stalked her too. Apparently this guy just had a reputation for stalking every new girl in town. It escalated over the course of the year, but was quite frankly more absurd than terrifying because the stuff he did was just so bizarre. Finally had to get a restraining order against him. Oh my gosh, this is what the first person should have done. I mean, the first story. Why do people do this, honestly? Like, why do you stalk someone? Like, I don't get it. What do they get out of it? It's not like the person's gonna fall in love with you, right? Well, maybe. Hold on. I feel like there has been a case where someone fell in love with their stalker or like their kidnapper, right? Maybe that's what these stalkers or people think are gonna happen, you know, because of those stories. They get more inspired by it or something. I don't know. My mother dated a man who turned out to be abusive. Once she ended this, he began to stalk us. In the beginning, I didn't have a license. Later on, when I did, he started stalking both of us. Some clues we found were seeing odd cars driving slowly in the neighborhood. This isn't a sign by itself, but when combined with the same cars being seen nearby at other times, we figured it out. He knew people who owned new and used car dealerships. We started hearing from friends about things we had done that no one would really know about. Like my mum may have visited a relative, or I went to a party with friends. Somehow a neighbor or other person asked how that was. We found out he was talking to these people as friends without them knowing what he was up to. So they were volunteering information in a harmless way. Oh, like they didn't know he was stalking them. So every time he talked to the neighbors would just be like, oh yeah, they're at home today. Yeah, I didn't see them do anything, you know. Oh my gosh. Our trash started being disturbed. Leave the trash alone. Okay. Found out he was going through it and taking out things like billing statements, letters, and so on. This was before privacy and identity theft were an issue. In the single worst example, he had shown a letter I had written to a prospective girlfriend to a friend of his. I threw out my drafts and accidentally left it there. I just happened to see it when I was there, and the mutual friend told me that she thought the guy had it to proofread it for me. Humiliating. I noticed once I had my license, I was being followed when I was out on country roads and so on. Even through college, he did it on occasion when people in my hometown knew when I had gone dancing or whatever at clubs. So all in all, just be vigilant. If you ever feel someone is following you, be it a stalker or a road rage person, do not go home. Go to a well-lit area or a manned police station. Shred everything you throw away if there's anything personal on it. Get a good cross-cut shredder that cuts into a tiny pieces, and these days call the police. They'll take it more seriously than they did in the past. Oh my gosh. Why was he doing that though? You know, like nothing even happened. Like he didn't even try anything but just stalk them. Is this being possessive or obsessive? You know, like he just stalked them and just wanted to know what they were doing. And just being creepy, basically. What was the point of that? I mean, I'm glad he didn't do anything, you know, but like, what was the point of doing all that? Just move on and find someone else to love, man. When I would come home and my blinds were turned in such a way that someone outside could see in. Even though I always put them back, the next day they would be turned. Then there was a time I found him hiding in my shower. Needless to say, there was some restraining order action and a stay in jail. This is like a real life horror movie, you know, when you're hoping no one is behind the curtain, but there's someone behind the curtain. What? Jeez, that's so creepy. Okay, I'm looking at my blinds now. What the heck? Wow. So they broke in, turned the blinds so when they were outside at night, they could still see them. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.